Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name's Claire. This channel is about empowering you on your twin flame journey, your inner divine feminine, your inner divine masculine, and whatever is going on. So we're in the new moon in Scorpio today. So we've got the moon and the sun in Scorpio, very intense energy, which I happen to love and I'm very used to because I've got a lot of Scorpio in my chart. I'm also like a bit of a Phoenix rising right now, although I'm a Phoenix rising in my jammies, I might add. But we can rise like the Phoenix in our jammies. It's more than possible. You don't have to be a boss bitch out there with a suit on. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm very much doing it in my PJs most of the time. But I will get dressed for you, at least on the bottom half. No, the top half. That's what I meant. Um, so, yeah, I'm just gonna channel and transmute some energy because holy bejesus, yesterday on the celebration, inverted commas, ritual that people call Halloween, that was rough as tatties. That was really rough as fuck for me. Don't even know where to start. I'll probably just skim past it because I don't think I'd even really be able to do the darkness that I felt justice, but it wasn't fun, but I survived. So I really sincerely hope that none of you went through what I was feeling coming at me. But anyway, I got through it. But it's like, that's kind of, I'm sharing it because this happens to me a lot, like all the time. Not on that level, I might add. That was like, yeah, that kind of energy coming at me is, well, actually it's at least once a month. It's usually more than that, but it is on a Scorpio moon. But it's because I knew it was going to be bad because it's a Scorpio new moon. But um yeah, thank God I was protected and I just prayed my way through it, and that's why I will keep preaching that till the day I die. Praying does work for yourself and others and the collective. So I pray for the channel. I pray for every one of you every day. Only if you're open to it. You know what I mean? If you're like, I don't want you to pray for me, then probably won't reach you. But if you're open and you want it, I'm praying for you. And if you want to be, able to sort of let me know what it is you want me to pray for, oh look, as they pull me to professional assistance, that is what you can do in the membership, and that's in the first level. Yeah, true love just fell on the floor too, especially if it's to do with these connections, because it's twin flames that I'm here to help. So yeah, so everything I do is channeling, clearing, healing energy. For those of you that are new, the channeling part just means the way I approach every video is going to have something to do with who this is going to make sense to. It can make sense to masculine, feminine, or your inner masculine, feminine. You can be male, female, and be either one of these. What else? Yeah, I'm always clearing energy and everything. I'm always clearing confusion, which is aka black magic, spell work. It can be darker stuff like hexes, voodoo, and I mean that would be darker stuff that people have been doing with what we've just come out of. And again, if you do happen to feel like you've got that heavier energy hanging around you and you're not in a place to book a private session with me, go and look on my meditations and activation, whatever it is, playlist, and there's specific journeys there to clear your energy or stuff like that. And all I ask is that it would be brilliant if you leave, a comment to say how much it helped you, or if you even send me an email privately, and then I can share what you've wrote anonymously, and it just helps other people know that this stuff works. But again, there are some of you that will have that much heavy energy around you, that much psychic attack, needing that much soul retrieval, that simply listening to one of the videos is not going to be enough. It will help you a bit, but you got to recognize when you do need to go and get that professional assistance, as they guide me that to again and again. Like it's that's yeah. Oh, so on that note, because I basically said all the other stuff, haven't I? So yesterday, yeah, I'll just sort of say what happened. So in the order, I know I wrote it, but in the order this happened, right? I just like intuitively just got guided to start praying like really hard, right? I just looked at 441 backwards. And so like I was even guided to like go on my hands and knees and pray. Like honestly, sometimes I get it must be past life stuff, but sometimes I'm just compelled to do this. And like I said, sometimes I'm compelled to thank God for what hasn't even manifested yet. But it was more I felt I was praying for Yeah, just like praying against the energy that I felt coming at me before it, but I must add, before it even happened. And then again, I won't go into all the details because we're now in All Saints Day. Oh, so I better get some angel cards or something. Again, I always heal with angels every day. And like I wrote in the post yesterday, if you want the angels' assistance, they can come and support you too. As I know a lot of you, most of you tuning in do know that, but some people need to hear it, that you need to, just as you would need to actually contact someone for professional assistance, you do need to ask the angels as well for their help too, before they can intervene. But yeah, so I'd just been doing that, right? And then literally as soon as I got up and, I just went to scroll on my timeline, it was like, it was like they hand picked like my worst nightmare scenarios, like for me to see. So that's really it, right? So I've said this before because I'm used to this by now. So, but rather than kind of like what I chose to do, because again I keep all this anonymous. What I chose to do was I chose to thought, do you know what? Like I've already had a lot of all this stuff sort of happen, like, and I've survived it. So I'm just gonna watch this shit, and I'm just gonna pray that I get some sort of sign that like this isn't for mine, and blah blah blah. So because it's like I just preach and practice what I say to all use, um, like use discernment. It's good for you to practice discernment, but also it's like your mind can really play tricks on you. Um, but also that can be the devil playing tricks on you. Like, you could be actually really close to a breakthrough and love, success, money, any area of life, and then you get pulled in by the devil to watch something like that, and it lowers your vibration and it could set it back another few months or years, or you know what I mean. And so, yeah, I just told it. But anyway, long and short of it was like, I was like, yeah, you know, that's not for me. And even if it is, I'll survive kind of it. So that was the kind of vibe. So, and then I just made sure I smudged and cleared my energy. But only if that, whatever I'm saying speaks to you there, only do that if you are in a strong enough place, you've done enough soul retrieval to be empowered to be like, do you know what? Whatever comes next, I can handle it. Doesn't mean it won't upset you, doesn't mean it won't make you angry, doesn't mean it won't even devastate you in some cases, but you'll survive it. And I could speak like that because I had my dark night of soul a long time ago. But the thing is, what's different about it is like I stay humble with it. I might be stronger now. I am stronger now, and I've been strong for a long, long time, even during mine actually. But I will never ever forget the vulnerability and the darkness that I was in when I was in my dark night soul, and that's why I was in it for such a long time. And then look, they're guiding me that a certain darkness is need to see the stars. So like what is one of the main reasons why I can empathize on one of the deepest levels you will ever meet in another human being? Because I've went through it myself and because I've helped a lot of other people. It doesn't mean I've experienced every single thing out there that's painful. Absolutely not. And I'm grateful to not have, but I have experienced quite a lot for a young age. And I've supported and again, a lot of the things I've supported other people through. Some of it is things that I've not experienced, but some of it is things I have experienced. So again, it's the mysterious nature of a high priestess. But what else? But yeah, so basically, I'm just sort of saying that if you're not in a strong place and you do feel like what I would call the devil trying to attack you, it's spiritual warfare, particularly on your mind. If you know that you're not in the strongest place mentally or spiritually, emotionally, maybe even physically you're not well, or all of it, do not watch things like that. If you see a title that you're like, I feel like that's really going to upset me, like, whether it's true or not, whether I've got to send it, like, don't watch it. Click the three wee dots and click hide, right? I do it too. I still do it now. Or, like for instance, they keep showing me stuff to do with the Diddy stuff, and every other day I'm seeing some celebrity on a thumbnail in bed with it. I'm not interested. It's distractions. It's sick. Let them get on with it. I'm not interested in watching that. It's pulling you into a dark portal, and that's what portal. I said that very Scottish, but that's what I'm trying to say to you. It's because they guide me to watch a lot of these other videos sometimes, because sometimes with the best of intentions, when people are channeling a message, they don't actually realise that they've got a dark entity hanging around them. And the thing that is torture for me is I actually see dark entities in people. Like I can see it, I can feel it, I can sense it. I can, you know, if it's in person, I can smell it. Something. Do you know what I mean? Like all my clairs hit me like full shebang, and it's really feeling. So it can be very frustrating because sometimes it's like, wow, that person thinks they're doing a service there, but actually, you know, they're putting out like this, like you know, they're putting out this energy that is, it's not. It's hard to describe, but it's not helpful. But so anyway, but just be aware of that. If it's really tempting to watch somebody's video, but you're like, I think this is going to shake my shit up, I really don't think I should watch this, you're probably getting lured into a dark portal. And, you know, just be careful about that because you'll know because it'll feel quite addictive. But the thing is, it really just depends because I've worked with people that get very confused with stuff like this, especially if you've got heavy Pisces. We've all got Pisces somewhere, but you know, healing energy can be very addictive too. Like again, I just need to stress that if you're, especially the live streams, if you're new, or even if you're not new, you need to hear this again. If you're watching like me, like say tonight, right, I'm going to be sitting for hours on end, right? I'm probably most likely, but I'm not probably, I'm definitely going to power through unless I get a warning sign that it's like, right, I'm going to need to stop and do the rest tomorrow. There is a possibility I might do that tonight. I'll just see. I usually just prefer to like have a break and then get through them all. But what I could actually see me maybe, no, I think I might need to do that. Yeah, there is a possibility. They're saying to me I might need to do that, like film some tonight and some tomorrow, because I'm going to do an extended reading. I'm either going to do an extended reading or I'm going to do like a mini healing as the extension, or maybe a bit of both because 1144. Because all of my stuff has got healing activations, we've done it anyway. But I might just again just to make it a bit different because I do like to be unique. So what I might do is I might just do like 6 of the signs. I'll go with the flow, but I might do 6 of the signs in public, and then because it'll still be fresh in my head, then record the extended. No, right. That makes sense, right? Well, because I'm just asking, like again, this is you're seeing me and like so again. If you get bored at this bit, but some people find it funny. I'm going to record all of the signs in public, and for the whatever the extended is, I'm going to do the extended. I think just tomorrow. There might be a chance the extended might actually need to come next week, but I think I'll just want to do it tomorrow. Although it's the weekend, because I've rested so much, you see. Saturday during the day I don't really do too much anyway. So yeah, anyway. But anyway, you'll see yourself. I'll just go with the flow. But the point is when I so say just forget, because what I'm doing tonight is I've only just got back to doing the signs like that live again. But when I'm sitting on a live for like your 3, 4, 5, sometimes it's like 8 hours, that is addictive too. And you're not crazy for thinking that you can't switch the phone off or put it down to go to sleep, by the way. Everybody says that. And think about how weird it is for me. I'm the same. Like, you know, like when I watch it back, I like it's like I can't seem to turn it off, you know, to pick it up. Sometimes I do, like if I'm really tired, but it's like it's because of the healing energy that's being emitted and the activations. So you know, it's wise to know the difference. Like the difference being is whatever it is I'm channeling through, I'm always having the intention to clear the confusion, clear the black magic, and you know, empower you. Whereas I've definitely caught tarot readings before where it's addictive, but it's addictive because it's like going really dark and it's like, yeah, this is what I thought, and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And like the thing is, I suppose what my point is even if it is true, you don't want to go too much in to the shadow like that, to the really, you know, to the, because it can, that's where you can sort of, it'll noise you up in the wrong way and it's not really leaning towards forgiveness. Like, again, I must stress, you're allowed to be angry, you're allowed to move through feelings of like resentment and stuff like that, but come out the other side. That's what I encourage, you know, and that's why I always encourage therapy around here more than getting a reading, by the way. Put it this way, lots of people on my radar, you will know because you've been this person, or you'll have heard me say it over the past nearly 10 years, right? Possibly longer than 10 years if some of you have known me before I started Crystal Clear Visions. The thing is I don't encourage people to get reading after. If somebody comes to me and they're like, oh, you know, like, because they're actually specifically talking to me about someone that came to me years ago that had been getting reading after reading after reading from someone. Um, and I was like, I'm not going to be another person that's giving you another reading on this situation. I will give you healing, but I'm not giving you another reading. So, like, come to me when you're ready to get that healing. So, long story short, that is what me and that person done. We done some healing together and, you know, helped her heal her inner child, empower her. We done therapy together. Yeah, and like again, it's an all anonymous, but this is like, you know, this is just one of many, but that I am thinking of someone in particular. And it was just such a absolute humbling honor to see this person go from, I remember in her words once, she had said, you know, she'd taken a picture of herself. So again, if this person happens to be listening, she'll be like, oh, that's me. But it's like, you know, she'd taken a picture of herself and she looked a lot older than what she actually was at the time. And but she also looked grey and unwell, and you know, because she did have a lot of aches and pains as well as emotionally, mentally, spiritually kind of thing. And through our work together and basically her taking personal responsibility for her own life and happiness and, you know, cutting the cords from everything that was making her unhappy and on all the people, the joy and the light began to return in her eyes. And this woman does have beautiful eyes, like, you know, like really sort of mystical eyes. And yeah, she started, to me, it was like she did actually start, it was like she started to age in reverse because all that stress and the heaviness was being lifted from her. And she just started to have more fun. And I always remember as well as that person used to say to me all the time that like when she received distance healing from me, she didn't have a lot to laugh about in her life at the time, right? But when she received my distant healing, she went, I just wanted to burst out laughing for no reason. Is that weird? And I was like, no, I hear it all the time. You know, when I've healed people in person as well, definitely if I've been at different sort of healing groups and that, people, it was very common that people were like, you know, God, you've got such an inner child energy. And you see, that's true. Like, that is why like I'm like you said, primarily with all my work, I am here to empower your wounded inner child to go to an empowered inner child, you know what I mean, as a part of your adult self. Because again, this channel is not aimed at healing children, it's aimed at healing you as an adult, but your inner child, right? Because I work very heavily with all the mother sort of energies of like Mother Mary and Goddess Isis, and I'm going to get on to Goddess Isis in a minute because that was it was mind blowing what happened yesterday. All the things that happened yesterday were mind blowing. And yeah, and like I said, Mary Magdalene I work with very heavily as well. Lady Portia or Lady Justice, as it's sometimes known. Like these are all the ones you'll hear me mention the most. Goddess Kali when that energy is coming in strong too. But you know, again, there's loads. I can work with different ones, but these are all the main ones that tend to come in. And it's always very motherly, unconditionally loving type of energies. It's either the badass kind of Isis and Kali energies, or it's the very gently Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene energies of forgiveness. And this is like, you know, this is true divine feminine empowered energy that I'm describing, because when you have aligned and you've really balanced your inner masculine and feminine, you know, you love yourself so unconditionally that you still love your twin flame, but you're not like, you know what they're capable of, and you're not willing to accept any less, because you're not willing to accept any less from yourself. And the thing is, when you know who your true twin flame is, you know that they're your own energy. So it's kind of like why I say all the time, when you really reach that level of understanding of that and you don't feel separate from them in the spirit, because you know you will, at points on your journey, you will still feel separate from them, and that's when you won't really be able to understand why are they doing this, why is this happening, blah blah blah. But when you work through that and you keep doing the soul retrieval and you keep pouring the love into you, you get more and more detached. And like, you know, it's really interesting, but it does get to a point where you get so detached that you're like, oh, this is weird. Like, this is weird that I'm not thinking about them as much as what I used to. And, you know, but yeah, again, a lot of you will know what I'm talking about, but some of you really need to hear this sort of speech. But that's great because it actually gives room for the other person to go through what you went through. It feels like I'm talking divine feminines here, whether you're female or male, but it gives room for them to grow through and go through what you went through, and to realize that shit, this really is true love. Like, they are my divine mirror. And they'll be amazed by it, you know, or you might be the person right now that is being amazed by it, and you know, let that happen to them, let them be amazed. Don't be like, you know, bothering, like, look, that's like a masculine. Can you see that? Because sometimes you can't see unless you look closer that that's a masculine silhouette, in case you weren't seeing it. I'm sure you were, but, you know, it's like that's actually really beautiful. Look, that's like a masculine connecting with their feminine and like being like, wow, this is like amazing. That's like connected in the astral, the sexual telepathy, as I call it, which is very, very strong in Scorpio energy. And again, I happen to say, like, look, the eighth house, which is Scorpio energy, to me is about the real sacred union. The seventh house is partnership and marriage and spiritual union, right? Because it is literally the house to do with marriage. But for me, when it comes to twin flames, because the tantric connection and the telepathic connection is like just so intense, like to me, it is Scorpio season and the eighth house that is the true sacred union, divine union energy. So that's why it just makes sense to me that a lot of twin flames do come into union in this kind of season, because it's like it's secrets too, and there is usually some type of not of everyone, but there's a bit of a clandestine kind of forbidden love element to many twin flame connections. And as I was saying, it's kind of amazing that I found that hidden after film that was, you know, it's on here, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Oh, I'm going off to see when I watch this back, but I wonder what I was saying a few seconds ago. Because I was looking away and then I looked down, I was like, oh. But yeah, that was kind of amazing, because of course I found the after film on the new moon in Scotland. Well, it was actually technically the dark moon because I found it last night, but I was like, wow, like that's amazing, because that is what I like. I don't do it every Scorpio moon because then I'd be watching it once a month, but you know, I'd say sort of every, you know, maybe once every 3 months or something. Like, I might, if I'm kind of in the mood, because, you know, because I've seen them all the time, I'm like, nah, like, it wasn't that long ago since I watched it. But put it this way, if I need a good purge and I need a good cry and I'm strong enough to face it, I put them on and I'll watch them over a weekend, and it's very cathartic. I thought the last time I watched them, maybe, it wasn't even that long ago. I think it was maybe about a month ago or something. I'm just trying to think. I don't know if I even cried. I will have at some point. I definitely will have. But I cry less each time I watch it, you know what I mean? And it's not because I've seen it loads of times, it's because the more healed you are, the less it's going to affect you. It's kind of like reminds me whenever I watch Normal People, like, oh my god, I've been inconsolable, like hyperventilating when I've watched that some years. And then I remember watching that again, I don't know if it was this year. Oh no, it was. I think it was earlier this year. Me and one of my best pals watched it because she actually hadn't seen it. And we watched them. We actually watched them all in a night. She left at like 2 in the morning. It was hilarious. Um, and yeah, you know what I mean. Like you'll get it if you want. Basically, what I'm the TV shows that are making me talk about here. TV show, that's God, look, see what I mean? I become American when I'm channeling. But like the programs, TV shows, whatever that I'm talking about, are particularly intense ones when it's like there's a very unspoken connection, but that nobody else kind of gets. But it can take some very dark, kind of shadowy things to happen, because particularly in Normal People, they've got a really beautiful connection, but it's like he can't get over his own sort of anxiety and fear of what other people will think. So he treats her, well, badly. And then it's horrible, really, how that sort of flips. And then it's just, oh God, it's dark. I mean, that's a very dark example, right? But I just think some people will be able to see it's very triggering. I can always say that when I talk about, basically, after's triggering, Normal People's really triggering, like really, really triggering some of the stuff in that. But both things have got a lot of X in it. So if you're okay with the actual scenes, and but to be fair, in Normal People, it's I have to mute it and fast forward some bits, because some of it is just too horrible. The horrible guys she gets involved with, it just is too much. Unfortunately, you know, because they're making me go near that, it is sort of because Scorpio, you know, the shadow side of it, as it's still, you know, it is about that. It is pain. It could be like picking up on people that you've got involved with, people that have put you through some really dark stuff, like mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and unfortunately, in some cases, physically. Again, why is it that, you know, a lot of people, including me, even though I know it's all just as bad as the next, we always seem to think physical abuse is worse than the rest. It's actually all terrible. But yeah, anyway, so that I think they just want me to touch on it. So again, if you have been dealing with that in the past and you've got trauma of it, know that I help people with stuff like that all the time. So I would, love to help you if you feel guided to me. And I can handle it, basically, is what I want to say to you. It is my journey and purpose to handle the darkest things that a lot of people can't handle because of my Pluto 0 degrees Scorpio in the 12th house. If you know astrology, there's no more needs to be said. But if you don't know astrology, Pluto is what rules Scorpio. Pluto in Scorpio 0 degrees, very potent energy. And because it's retrograde too as well, I do it in a way that is completely and utterly unique to me. I'll be able to find solutions for your problems. Again, I've said this before, but they're getting me to say it. It's not uncommon that I hear from people with the really, really heavy sessions, which I have to be honest, it's really sad. But see, in the past year, the really, really heavy sessions have actually been every session. Maybe bar like one or two. It's been clearing a lot of hexes and curses and like real dark stuff. And a lot of inner child stuff is basically what happens. Inner child healing is what happens in every single session. Every single session, it's always an inner child soul retrieval of some kind. But it can be shadow integration too, because your shadow hides as a part of your inner child, from what I've noticed in my sessions. Anyway, I've spoke for ages. Give us a scripture. So whatever that's all going to have to do with someone, I just trust. Oh, that one just flew out. I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Wow, so see how meaningful that is. Oh my God, remember that kept coming up loads. And it's coming closer and closer. So if you tune in to most of it, oh my God, and it's about to reach. Oh no, I'm getting a bit too excited. It's 27 minutes, it's not 29. But I did just look at 2711. So maybe it's the 27th of November to the 29th of November that's significant here. But the 29th of November was 2911 kept coming up loads and loads and loads. Like, I don't know, about a month ago, it came up several videos in a row. So much so that I kept noticing it, and some of you kept noticing it. So, yeah, Jeremiah, so that one might speak to you. But again, it's like I feel all you've been used to is people hurting you. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically in some cases. And now it's like, there's plans for you to prosper. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. Isaiah 40:31. And you see, I feel that's got to do with what I was saying about, like, no matter what I've went through in my life and the dark stuff I've helped people through, I never stopped praying and I never stopped believing. And again, that's so cheesy, but it's true. My ringstone has been "Don't Stop Believing" journey for like so many years now. Like, I say this all the time, but see anyone connected to my past, I bet you they could still be on a night out and hear that song, and whether they want it or not, I'm going to spring it in because like everyone just knows that like that was the song that I love. So it's kind of funny. Everyone will love a song like that where it just makes people think of them. Right, so I'm just going to get on to, so I think that's basically it about that basically that's just the stress. Like, I'm telling you that happened to me, but also I feel that could have happened to some of you. So I hope that you got through that, and I'm sending you prayers that you continue to get through whatever you're going through. Because I think what they're stressing to me, you see, is I've just emerged from the sun transit in my 12th house, so I always take more time myself. I rest more. If I can, I'll take some type of holiday. I kind of dived in and out of a bit of a holiday because there was always videos for you to watch, but you'll notice like the past sort of 2 weeks, it's been different types of videos, like I'd filmed them all ahead of time, 2 weeks ahead of time. But that was interesting because you saw that I'd filmed them all ahead of time and they still fit with ones I had energy to do. There's 2911. And now, do you know what? I can't be bothered looking right now, but the 29, it is, when I did actually look it up, I think it is, I think it must be near a new moon, or I can't remember if it was like a couple of days before or after. I'll put in the comments when I watch this after. But, because I've actually just buried, have I just buried my phone under the cards? I must have, because this is hilarious. How have I done that? Wait a minute, I'm going to pause this. Right, I hadn't buried it. It was in the other room. But it was because I brought it through here and then I put it back. right, before I forget, I'm glad I went to look. What it is I should have guessed because it's a month from now, basically. It's the next Scorpio moon period. So the 29th is literally the Scorpio moon again, right? So that's what's significant about it. Especially if you listen to what I said about, because that's what I think that, again, remember, if you're new here, everyone else knows this, right? If you've got the patience to sort of listen. Because again, some videos it is going to be like this, right? Like, notice I've actually spoke for 30 minutes and all I've pulled is a scripture. Like, some people, we get so impatient and not get it and click on to somebody reading the tarot or reading the oracle or whatever. But for those of you that are a bit more evolved souls, I wouldn't normally say like that, but it's true. If you're a bit more of an older soul and more patience, you'll understand that actually, it can be quite nice to not use all the cards. And I know why they're getting me to say that. That's very in line with what I'm going to talk about with what happened yesterday with an emergency session. But yeah, basically, so the 29th is a Scorpio moon, but then the new moon in Sagittarius, which is actually my new moon, which is so funny. I always seem to realise, like, when we're not too far away from it, is actually, well, it's in different parts of the world, but basically what I'm saying is, it looks like that the 29th of November is like another dark moon in Scorpio. It might not quite be the dark moon, but I think it is because the new moon in Sagittarius is on the 1st of December. So that's why it's meaningful, right? Because it means that if you're watching this in real time as I'm filming it on of course, because we're already in happy November to you. Because I'm filming it on the 1st of November, if you really sort of take this on board, what I'm saying now, and you use these next few weeks of the Scorpio season is really do that deep inner work. Like, basically, you've got a choice today. You can stay with it and purge the pain, watch the sad films, watch basically, yeah, watch sad films or watch anything that helps you just get the emotion out of your body. Like, you're holding a lot of stuck emotion, get it out, get a therapist, get a healer, get a combination of a few. Come to me if you're drawn to me, because I'm actually all of these things rolled into one. But it doesn't mean that you can't still work with other people, as I stress all the time. You can do work with me and do really beautiful work in conjunction with others. Like, for instance, I do a lot of things, guys, but I can't be a male to you. Do you know what I mean? I can help you balance your masculine energy, right? Because I'm wolf medicine and I've got that ability to go in between both. But um but I'm not a man. Do you know what I mean? So I can't, that this is important that you take that on. So some of you need to actually have that guidance from a male. Um and because that, if you see, that is what a lot of the divine masculines, when they step more in their purpose, some of you are actually meant to be supporting other men with the process that they're going through. But nobody's expecting you to do that right away. But look how amazing is that it reached 33 minutes, and 33 minutes around here means Jesus, forgiveness, rebirth, energy there. Once you've went through your own dark night of the soul and your own process, and you've healed that enough, you can emerge like the phoenix. Give yourself a bit of time, and you really might be thrown in to work with others. Some of you are already doing it, and again, I've helped loads of people over the years, a lot of women that are in masculine energy that are now helping other people, doing great work. And just this year I've been helping like way more men, and that's like a complete honor. But again, all of you at different bits, like, it's just important that you focus on the healing that is needed for yourself. It's I just personally feel it's very important that you monitor when you're they're pulling me the Jesus cards. It's very important that you monitor whether or not you're ready to work with other people, because it is a huge responsibility. It's why you just saw me. I take time for myself. I didn't work with clients, like, because I'm just trying to think. Yeah, like, so, yeah, right. So wait a minute. There's just too much happening here. I'm going to get the Jesus cards. And right, so I've got like loads of angel cards because I've collected them from when I was like basically a teenager. But because I'm mentioning it's All Saints Day, I'm going to shuffle them. But I'm just going to get one of these Jesus cards. But yeah, right. Let's see what have we got. But basically what I'm saying is, usually from the day that people work with me, right, it's 3 weeks from the day that you feel all this energy and empowerment come back. That's with one-to-one sessions. But actually that's actually with the recorded healing activations too. And it can actually even just be with any video. So it could happen with this. If I guarantee you, because that's what they're saying to me right now, something that I'm saying through this, right, is really hitting somebody very hard, and it's exactly what you need to hear. It's activating what you need for the next part of your healing. If you take that on board and monitor where you are before the sun moves into Sagittarius, which is basically, right, well, it's my twin flame's birthday, you know, you could really be coming out the other side of the dark, deep Scorpio waters, brand new, optimistic, happy, playful. That's Sagittarius energy. I've got a Sag moon. I'm a funny mix of like really deep and intense, and can handle, you know, people's dark, deep stories and holding space for, yeah, I see the dark side in you. I've heard your stories. How about I listen, I accept you anyway, and I love you anyway, you know, like that's like I'm talking about in sessions when people come and they'll be like, you know, they tell me their stories and you think I'm going to think less of you. I'll listen, you know, and I'll hold space for it. I'm able to do that rather than, and it's much better than those of you female, male that are being stuck in your heads. Like, and again, that sounded like I was channeling like things that you've done that you don't feel proud of, right, in the past when you reflect on it. But this can also be people that, you know, you're stuck in your head with things that people have done to you that you're like, I can't tell anyone this because I don't want to put that burden on people, or I don't want to give them pain. Do put the burden on some people, but wait till you hear what I'm going to say. The teachers, the people that have literally studied, you know, and natural spiritual teachers, you know, again, because like I said, I am a mixture, like, yeah, counselling, because look what's just sitting here. Like, I'm a mixture of, yes, I've studied these different modalities, but also I'm such an old soul that any teacher I've ever worked with, these feels that is the truth, by the way. They've all acknowledged, like, you're just such a natural. Like, it just feels like you're here for the bit of paper. Like, so, like, it's crazy how the amount of people that have actually said that. But, you know, it does resonate, because it's like, but you know, it's interesting, you know, it still does help, but it's like I say all the time, guys, you know, like I know what they're about to say. This is hilarious. I was watching somebody's video earlier, and it's like the ones where they do reaction videos, and it just, you know, when it's like different things make different people laugh, and it was just funny because the guy was like, get to the point, and it was because like he was watching, I don't know, it was a guy that was doing reaction videos to like things that, like, you know, this is what makes a guy fall in love. And I'm sorry, but see when you see all these videos, see all these ones that are on TikTok and that, like, please do not get your therapy, your counselling from TikTok, right? I'm sure there are amazing counsellors and healers, but I'm not sure. I know there is, but some of them are not, okay? And some of them are talking bullshit, and it's just some girl doing their makeup in the mirror being like, this is how a guy falls in love with you. Don't, you know, don't be taking that as advice. But when it comes to, you know, I'm going to be a bit biased, not only because I'm on YouTube and I've got a lot of, you know, skills and, you know, experience, and notice I talk more about my skills and experience and unique niche that I'm guided to help people in, rather than my certificates and shit like that. Because not once has anybody ever been arsed or bothered about that. And that puts me off, you know, whenever I come across people who are like, oh, I'm like, or, you know, if people are kind of like, oh, I'm qualified in this, I'm qualified in that, I couldn't care less. And most people that get drawn to me are actually the same. Again, there could be, you know, a few of you that are like, oh, I am about the qualifications and that's why I'm drawn to you. And that's fine. I respect that if you respect that about me. But what I'm saying is, personally, I'm not. Like, you know, I want to kind of know that somebody isn't just kind of pulling it out their arse, kind of thin air kind of thing. But I'm more bothered about, you know, the person's character, and, you know, you can just tell by the way that people talk about things and their experience, and sometimes you just have to trust a feeling. Wait a minute. Right, so that was Amazon Man with my tea lights, because I go through them so quickly because I'm always burning candles for my sessions and for doing this and stuff. So, but again, whenever the buzzer goes like that unexpectedly, it can be something to do with like unexpected communication coming your way, or yeah, something unexpected. So I'm just like, I'm trying to find, I took the cards out to tell you what happened in the session yesterday, and I can't actually see where I've put them. Like, oh well, here they are, right, okay, so, but yeah, because it is All Saints Day, let's get some angel cards. So, but anyway, I was in a deep channel in there about, yeah, just basically that, you know what I mean, that whether you're somebody that really, you know, that the certificates and the qualifications, and basically, I would hope, basically what I'm trying to say is, right, I would hope that if you're bothered about certificates and qualifications, that what really is the weight behind that is that you're also looking at somebody's skills and experience and the unique qualities that they've noticed over time, that their guide, spirit, God want them to. Look at that page of swords fell on the ground. That's hilarious because that's got a lot to do with that too. You know what I mean? That it's like that, you know, and again, that could be like coming, that could be having something to do when I've said about, you know the difference between somebody that has actually properly studied stuff and also got like a natural talent at it and a skill and homed in on it and got the experience of noticing what they're good at. Because this is the thing, somebody could do a certificate or a degree or read tons of books on something, but not actually have a very natural intuitive gift for it, you know what I mean? And I can sort of tell, I can sort of feel it and be like, you know what I mean, I can know the difference. Whereas you've got other people that do just sort of take to it like a duck to water and it's their thing, and it's, you know, and it's, I just happen to feel with that sometimes it's maybe like it's not the person hasn't went towards the right thing, but it's like they've tried to fit in some kind of box that is not for them. Or maybe that sounds like as well like some people that try to copy others. And that's why I'm really passionate about that. That it's like, that's why one of my main taglines is my gift is helping you find yours. But it's also another part of my energy is like by people watching me, and especially the people that have watched me over the past nearly 10 years and longer, again, if you've known me before jumped into doing all the stuff in public, like you will have seen how much I've changed and grown, you know, like because I'm a Scorpio rising conjunct Pluto, it is like, you know, that's why I make a joke of it. It's like I'm changing and growing that much. It's like good luck to the people trying to copy me because I'm changing that much. It's like quite hard. Like I saw a meme the other day and it was like, shout out to the people trying to copy me. You're so like you're so last week, or you're so like 2 months ago, because I've already changed. You know what I mean? It's like I'm, somebody could be trying to copy me and I'm on the next thing, and it's, you know, that is what's really quite funny about it. But I really do feel, because it's about learning and stuff too, like this is like, you know that, look, yeah, look, be the real you. Like, just, I suppose it's what I'm channeling here is a new earth energy. It's like, I just feel people are going to care less and less and less about like, kind of like, I've got this and I've got that and I've got a degree in this, but like people are going to care less and less and less. It's going to be about like, look, the shit is hitting the fan. Who's got counselling skills? Who's got experience? Who's grounded? Who can like stay grounded when everyone's losing their shit? Who can help? Who's got the skills to help with this chaos? That's what I'm trying to say here, you know. So I'm just trying to make that clear about, yes, people that have studied and worked hard and got certificates and degrees and stuff like that, you've put a lot of blood, sweat and tears into it. It is great, you know, I've done it too. But all I'm saying is, personally, when I go to other people for help, I'm not really that, none of that impresses me, I suppose is the right word. Like, I'm more bothered about, okay, so you've done all that learning, but how many people have you worked with? How, you know, have you worked out what your thing is? You know, like, what's your experience? Like, that's what I would be looking to, because what I've learned from not only doing this, but also having been on the receiving end of people that, you know, maybe jump into things really quite quickly and, you know, not got as much experience as others, as, you know, you learn as you go along. And it's, I think there's definitely some professions where you do want to be aware of that before you're working with people that are vulnerable, you know. So that's what I'm just kind of stressing here, is it is good to be aware of that. So be the real you. Your greatest power comes from being who you truly are. Don't let anyone sway you from experiencing your authentic self. Yeah, so that's really in line with what I'm saying too. Right, okay, so what else? We have Angels of Healing are with you. Beautiful for All Saints Day. I might use that as a thumbnail if we want a simple one. A time of healing is about to bless your life. Accept Archangel Raphael's emerald green light will enhance your strength. Beautiful. And I really do feel that's needed after Halloween. So the forgiveness card is pulling me in there as well. And new beginnings, Persephone behind it. So beautiful, beautiful cards. But they were the ones I was going to show. So yeah, what happened was, right, so yesterday, right, literally right after I had been praying against the spiritual warfare that I felt coming at me, I then just felt weirdly guided to go to my emails because, and again, like, I had said, I'm not going to be replying to emails and comments and stuff because I've been strongly guided to just protect my energy. And like, well, I was totally spot on because it's not me being right. It was, my guides and God, spirit, because they just pulled me that, like giving me a heads up. And but anyway, long story short, I just felt guided to look, and so it was somebody basically like, can I have an emergency session? Now I don't actually I do have things on the schedule called emergency session, but they're actually like they're not public. Like I just kind of hid them because I just happen to feel I know it can be I know it's a big deal for people to book with me full stop, right? Whether that is just the weight that you feel behind how much your life's going to change after the session, because it will, or whether it's because it's a lot of money for you to part with to spend on yourself. People can feel really uncomfortable about spending something on themselves, especially if that is a lot of money to you. And again, a lot of money is different to different people. A lot of money can be my cheapest sessions and it can be the most expensive ones. It's different for different people. It's more about it's a personal thing. But the long and short of it is, I had to really check in with myself because again, it's like, people that tend to do that are going to be people that know me really well. And this is really anonymous, and I'm going to get that person is going to write something. I'd said sort of like 3 weeks from now at least. But she's going to make some notes because it was pretty mind blowing the synchronicity. So anyway, I sort of checked in myself and I thought, do you know what? I'm actually, despite what just happened there, I'm actually feeling like I've got loads of energy and I'm feeling pretty strong and like I'm just like, yeah, I just checked in with, God and my guys. I was like, nah, I'm meant to do this. And so anyway, long story short, got on the Zoom and basically that's why I'm going to get her to write her experience of it. So it's not just me telling you this, right? That's why it's helpful when I'm sharing other people's reviews. I didn't use a card the whole time, right? Because this is, like I said, my normal session, which is the crystal clear clarity, which has got access to all the different sorts of things I can do. But remember, I'm always clearing and healing energy. It's always quantum healing. And like I said, it looks like I'm just sitting in my jammies having a wee chat, like you'd have a wee cup of tea with your granny. But I'm actually doing a lot, like I'm, actively listening, which is exhausting in itself. Any true counsellor will know that and will hear what I'm saying. Um, it's why it's always in counselling specifically. You're always guided to sort of know yourself inside out because the people that don't stop and they keep on taking all the clients and they burn out. You're no good to somebody if you're not actually properly listening to them when they really need you to. Do you know what I mean? So that's why it's important to know your own energy. So had I not been in a place to do that, I would have, had to just be like, look, I'm really sorry, I can't. But actually, as it turned out, I had the energy and it was all totally meant to be. But the point is that the gist of what I spoke about was I spoke about things to do with like, just I won't go really deep in it, but inner child stuff and specifically like mother healing, and I'd mentioned, like really feeling. Well, I basically spoke about soul retrieval loads on the session, which is quite funny because this person knows all about soul retrieval because they've had a lot of that with me over the years. But it was just all this stuff about soul retrieval was coming through. And well, then anyway, right, we finished the session. The person felt a lot more grounded and calmer, and just basically what she needed, she came for. And I shuffled the cards, and look what came out. So it was just so funny because, like, and it's quite interesting that like I'm sharing, they're guiding me to share this because for the collective, I bet you it means something that'll mean the mother healing probably too for some of you as well. Because also mother healing can just simply be you being more comfortable at receiving. Like what I was saying about, a lot of people will use not for everyone, but for a lot of people, it can actually be an excuse of not being comfortable receiving love or something for yourself. rather than like not having the money, you know. So that's why it's always good to assess, like, is it that you've not got the money, or would you quite happily spend your money on like something that you don't really need as much, or like going on a night out, or you know, again, change it for whatever age and stage of life you're at, you know what I mean? It's you know, you've got to really assess it when you really break it down. So, and by the way, that the phone's doing that weird zooming in thing, so just, you know, just listen if that's annoying you. But I think because I'm noticing it's doing that, I think that's got something to do with the message, that it's like zooming in and out of your awareness about like what is that really all about. But this card is, it specifically mentions mother healing, and like I said, that had come up with that client, so that was kind of nuts, because I'd actually even mentioned something that another client had said to me not long ago that I'd done stuff with in person. She was like, you know, because that woman knows a bit about my work, but not all of it. And she was like, why is it that like that there's so many people that you're working with that have like had such like really terrible experiences with their mum? And I'm like, well, I know exactly, but it's because, you know, like I say all the time, like my mum is like, you know, my best friend, and just like, so, you know, my mum and my dad are, I'm just really like, you know, very supportive. And like I said, I'm not going all deep into my own shit, but you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like I've not moved through my own stuff as well, absolutely. But the thing is, I've moved through it, and it's like, and it's yeah, and it's basically, the point is that it's definitely, I feel um it's more to do with this goddess Isis energy that I'm so connected with, and like Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, that like I do just have this very strong divine feminine healing energy, because like I say all the time, my mum, you know, knows that's true as well, that like I actually have taught my own family about proper boundaries and stuff. And um you know, and definitely when it comes to anything to do with like my nieces and that, like again, I've got, you know, I've worked in childcare on and off for 20 years, so I have got a lot of experience, and not only in healing the inner child, but healing actual children too. So, you know, but I tend to, what I do now is I've learned boundaries with that myself. You know, you've got to separate, like, you know, whether it is, you know, like in my case, my nieces, or whether it be like my friends' kids, like, you know, it's that's been like a really big part of my journey as well. It's like, you know, you've just actually got to step back, and you know, it's not your, that's not your responsibility, like, you know, that's other people's responsibility. So if they ask for your help, then you can help them, but if not, you know, you've got to let people get on with it, kind of thing. And it's but yeah, so just so that you know, that if you're watching me, like I really do love working with children too. So it does tend to be clients that I've worked with in the past, like when you feel guided to, you know, like it's, I can do healing work with children as well, hypnotherapy, and I do it in a different way. You know, we make it fun. It's like I can do all the same stuff that I do with adults, but you have to shorten it. Like children's attention span is not that long, so you know, it's never over the hour, because that's just too long. I'd have a wee chat with them for 15 minutes, and then about 45 minutes, or even like 30 minutes of, you know, uh meditation, a journey, or hypnosis. You know, it just, I sort of go by the child's lead. um Anyway, let's read that, right? And then, because what happened after, so I'll read the ISIS card, but what happened after was, after I'd read that to my soul fam client, because I don't just like call someone a client, and she was mind blown at that. We, again, and she's very used to me, but we were both like, that's crazy, because only me and her know that I'd just spoken about soul retrieval the whole time and the importance of it, and then ISIS comes out. But it's also because, you know, if you watch all, like, you know, if you watch most of my videos, you'll have saw the other day that I was stressing, you know, that healing with the goddess came out, the soul retrieval card, because look what I just picked up at, the brother in darkness, overcoming negative energy with feminine power. Look what I'm talking about. I mean, these are the ISIS cards, but that could be the thumbnail. Because that is what I do. Like I work very closely with Goddess Isis, because Goddess Isis and Osiris were, you know, true twin flames, and it is about you know, tirelessly piecing back your, you know, the other half of your soul. But in the case of me helping everyone, it's like I'm helping everybody retrieve back their soul. Look, there we go. I was just trying to find that card. Soul retrieval, deep soul healing with the goddess. That's what happens when you book a session with me. Deep soul healing. Everything I do is soul retrieval. Because when you're actually taught soul retrieval, it's usually like blowing on top of the head. And I don't do any of that. Like, that's no, I don't need to do that. Like, it's, so that's what I mean about, like, that's why people can't copy me, because I've never met anybody else that's like that. So, right, so, right. Half 4 could be significant here too. Look, soul family. Oh, look, that's why. Destined reunion, support for your journeys here. Lovely. Right, so, and that's what I mean about, like, half 4 isn't one that I feel strongly comes around me all the time, but I obviously do, because I've just opened that up again, but I obviously do work with her because this is one of the things that I do. But it's just, it's like past life healing, that's going on as well. But yes, what was quite funny was the one I pulled when I said, what do I need to know about, well, basically, like, the fact that it was like having to help in an emergency like that, like, what, because we'd spoke about that, me and my client, it was like, it feels like, it really, I hear this all the time, like, someone's like, you're truly the only person that could have helped me with that problem in that moment. And I know that I feel that's the case for anyone, but it feels like really important with my stuff because it is really deep, vulnerable work that I do with people. Like, it's their shadow, and it's their inner child. It's the part where everybody else will put on. It's not. I don't want to say a mask or a show, but they'll put their guard up for others. But people can't really do that with me. Not when they're being true to themselves, because it's like that space that I hold. It is just what I hold, and I can't help it. And I'm not going to apologize for it. It's people need it. But like I say all the time, I'm not that intense every single day. Like, I do just like to chill out and, like, let's not talk about the deep stuff just now. And I wouldn't say that to somebody if they wanted to talk to me about deep stuff. But I do enjoy just, like, not going that deep and watching Big Brother, and except I could do, except, you know what I mean, that does spur me to think about deep things too. But you know what I'm saying, like, and I just use Big Brother because that's what I'm watching just now. Like, I like watching things like Love Island and Big Brother, and I just love reality TV in general because I like to escape into it. You know what I mean? To sort of escape all the deep stuff. But that's because I know who I am. Do you know what I mean? I know who I am and I own who I am. And that's why I'm like, you don't need to like the stuff that I like. Just because I like watching shite reality TV, I don't expect you to. Like, I know that TV is about brainwashing, but, we're allowed to enjoy some of the human experience. Anyway, look what I pulled. I pulled Apollo. And it really made me laugh because, it is the Oracle of Delphi and Apollo that I'm very connected to. Like, that's why I always say, like, it's just God speaking through me. So I'm going to read this so that you know. I'm going to read both of these. So the point is, can you see the connection of, I pulled that for my client, but that's one of my main guides. And when I pulled the card for myself, I did pull one of my main guides. So, it's like whatever I'm healing in somebody else, it's always my guides often do show up in these collective ones and in the personal sessions. So, and of course it can be because it's the person's guide too, because they're pulling me to Lilith, and look, there's Mary Magdalene, look, sacred marriage. This is all important. You're your own twin flame. Spiritual wholeness leads to a new experience of intimacy and love. And this is, this is what I've really been feeling coming through in this is, you really do have to get that you are your own twin flame. And remember, it's not a coincidence that Mary Magdalene's popping in, and we've already had the Jesus energy, is you've got to be happy by yourself and, like, really heal that codependency and that desperation and that kind of pick me kind of energy, and really truly be comfortable that it's gone, and that you're content. And like I said, that's not the same as not wanting or needing your twin flame anymore. But the way I describe it is you would be able to get on with it if they don't appear, but you don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, you'd rather have them there. And that's kind of, I think, a more genuinely honest way to say it. It's kind of like, because what I was going to say there is, I don't need them, but I want them. But that doesn't even feel entirely comfortable either, because I feel where a lot of the feminines are right now, you actually do need them. Like, you need them in the sense of, you need a cuddle, or you need company from the one person in the world that understands you as well as you understand yourself, because it's the other half of your soul. Like, when they are awake and they get it, kind of thing. So it doesn't even feel genuine to say that you don't need them, but it's not the way that you would be used to, you know what I mean? It's not in the way that before you'd be like, oh, I need this person, do you know what I mean? I just need them, I love them, and I fancy them, you know, it's not like that kind of needing. It's just, it's when you're comfortable in your own skin and you're like, yeah, I want them and I need them. But if they don't want me or they don't feel they need me, then I'll just crack on and I'll keep loving myself unconditionally. Notice the difference. It's not like, so fuck them and fuck you. And you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we've all been there. You have to move through that. But you know, it doesn't, what I've learned on my journey, like being on this for so long now, is it doesn't really help you to like yourself. You know what I mean? So I hope that helps someday with whatever just came through there. Right. So let's read the Isis and then the Apollo, because I just feel they wanted me to read these ones. So right, so this is the Isis card. Sacred contracts, rise into your power and purpose, heal the mother wound. I cannot stress you enough with this particular person. Rise into your power was very significant with what I was helping her with, and the purpose bit, because I just channeled all this stuff about having a big purpose and stuff that you know you'll grow into, and heal the mother wound. Enough said. That was completely relevant too, because like I said, it's not every person that comes to me needs to heal some type of mother wound, even if it's nothing to do with your actual mum, but it's to do with like receiving. Sometimes occasionally it can be like some issues you had with grannies and stuff like that, or but it's you know, it's like 9 out of 10 people, guys. I'm not gonna lie, you're male or female, you know. So again, if it's not you, you might be like the one or two people where it's not that, but that's just the case. Because it makes, like I said, it makes sense because I've got such a motherly healing energy. Like people are just drawn to me. It doesn't matter what age you are. I work with the majority of my clients are way older than me, and I've got a handful of clients that are younger, male and female. That's so interesting. There's like a big boom of people that are like kind of late 20s, early 30s. That they're, yeah, you guys are going to be really powerful healers as well. That's what I said to that person yesterday. I mean, you already are, but I mean, it's like those people are kind of learning like more about themselves. Um, Right, so a life transforming process is underway. Deep from the underbelly of the Great Mother, a wake up call is sounding. Again, I said, yes, that feels very Scorpio because it feels like true, deep, divine feminine energy. And it was just really funny because I was very much in that deep, dark moon shadow space and I'd like been ripped out of it to help. But again, it's because of the way that I can help people in that time of need. If they're on my radar, they're going to call on me. Holding out her golden ankh symbol, Queen Isis speaks to you. It's time to develop and share your deepest soul gifts. You're activating sacred contracts to your divine feminine mission on earth. These are spiritual agreements that reside in your consciousness. Now, those words may really speak to you. I feel it really will. But like that could speak to the masculine's feelings coming online in a bigger way. That can be the feminines, you know, your deeper feelings about whatever coming online. But this could also be like, you know, any of you that are noticing your need to receive more support. Like, because again, like I said to you, I'm feeling I'm going to be getting a lot of therapy clients coming to me. I'm just really feeling the wave of it, just people more interest, which is good because this is what I stress all the time. I've stressed it in this video. Like it's like if you're somebody that's like hooked on getting reading after reading after reading or watching tons of general readings, it's probably a massive indication you'd be better like instead of wasting your time and energy watching tons of general readings, like well for one, actually save up the money if you need to save up the money, or you know, spend your money on a personal reading with somebody that you actually feel more drawn to so that it's more directed at you. Right, there's a good point. But if you're one of the people that actually does pay for loads and loads of readings, like what I mentioned, that woman that had, you know, and that woman's just one of many, but it was really beautiful how she was able to recognise the loop that she was stuck in when she came to me. And also, you know, I have to stress this is anonymous, but you know, that woman had kept going to the same person kept doing reading after reading, and that's what I don't really agree with it. Like that's why I say like you know, I don't like people to refer to me as like a reader or like a tarot reader, especially because I use more oracle than tarot. But you know what I'm saying? It's more the fact that it's like I'm more about the healing. And if somebody keeps just wanting reading after reading after reading, which they just don't tend to do with me. Yeah, I use cards in my sessions, but it is soul retrieval I'm doing, which is totally is what people need. On the twin flame journey, you need soul retrieval more than you need a reading, trust me. Because so what? Right, somebody reads what's going on. Great. How's that helped you? You know, read the energy. What is it that you need? Never mind your twin flame. Read the energy. What is it you need? Right, now you need to take the action. You know what I mean? like way before. It's fun. Like, look, here's one. What does this say? Here's one sitting. Look, the one that was sitting like that says, I know we're twin flames. Right. Knowing your twin flames is one thing, right? But when people have still got to learn about their own soul gifts and past lives and all that, and heal wounds from past relationships, and the other one that says I'm healing wounds from childhood, you know what I mean? It's which is what this card is about. That's what I'm saying. Focus on yourself, and the more you focus on yourself and keep pulling back those soul parts, you'll come together with your true person when you're meant to, including finding out who it is. So those of you that are like trying to like obsessively find out who the person is, just let it go. I think they're making me talk about that because the Scorpio energy is about obsession. So, you know, if you're getting confused and you're jumping from person to person, it's you're not meant to know right now. Let it go. So, don't know who needs to hear that, but it's coming through for someone. There are many ways to answer your contracts. If you commit to healing from trauma, you'll be an inspiring example. Again, that was very relevant to my client. I'd say it's very relevant to everyone that's drawn to me because that is the commitment I made. And it's so funny because this moon's conjunct my Saturn. But I made a commitment many, many years ago to start healing my own trauma very, very early. And I've never stopped and I never will stop. And that's why I'm good at helping other people with that. If you choose to live from your inner truth, you'll make it possible for others to do the same. Your sacred contracts are rooted in whatever you most dream of being, doing, and giving. One thing is clear, when you draw this card, you're expanding beyond all limited ideas of who you are and what you think you can do. I bring your relationship with your mother into a healing space and may guide you into therapy. And then again, that's why our minds were blown, because we'd already been speaking about that that person is feeling ready for that next step. So and this is what I mean about it. You've got to be ready for that. Don't fear this. And it was just funny because she saw me shuffle, so it's like you really couldn't make it up that we spoke about therapy, because so many people are recognizing their need for the therapy. Basically, a lot of people that have been seeing me say this for years, right? Because remember, I've been preaching this for nearly 10 years. Like, Facebook was where I was the most of the time, and now it's been here for the last few years. And like now people are starting to see what I mean, because when the shit's really hitting the fan in the worlds and your trauma's coming up from your past and your past lives, you're realizing that actually a lot of people are not as stable and grounded as what they thought they were. And that could be some of the most spiritual, mystical people are having the same issues. So that's why I've always said, like, look, I love readings. I love all the other different bits and bobs of what I do, but I'll always stand by that. There's so many people that will, be like, oh, leave it in the past, or that was ages ago, or don't bring up the past. And it's like, no, someday the past will come back to bite you in the ass. And that's why it is good to have that solid, grounded, grounding energy of good therapy, One thing is clear that, I read that. So, don't fear this process, as it can bring karmic soul healing for your entire lineage, and you'll feel free to fully understand yourself. This is a message of love from your mother, so that might really speak to you if you've got a mother in the spirit world or a grandmother. Make a vision board to clarify what truly matters to you. Commit to your true purpose no matter what it takes. And it says, I stop playing small and expand beyond all previous limits. Powerful. And we've got Apollo here, so let's see what... Oh yeah, the Apollo. I'm reading you the Apollo more because it's interesting with what I've said in the past. But I bet you this will be for somebody else as well. Signs are being sent to light your path. Pay attention to the whispers of spirit. So there's, so there's that one. Apollo is a multifaceted Greek god of light and prophecy. He was a great musician and ruled over poetry, dance, archery, illness, medicine, oracles, and the sun. So you can see already, now I'll just actually go through them actually. So yes, I help musicians. I help a lot of poets. I have helped people that do dance in the past too. Archery, not so much, but you never know. Could be it. Illness all the time, medicine all the time. As in I've got all these different things that I'm guided to research and everything over the years about what will help with different illnesses and medicines. And some of it is very controversial. Some of it I'll only speak about in a session, and some of it I'll dot here and there when they guide me to. Like I said, I'm very connected to Edgar Cayce energy too. Oracles, self-explanatory, and the sun, again, healing masculine energy. Apollo held the gift of prophecy. His oracle at Delphi was the greatest in the ancient world, consulted by the wealthiest and most influential people in Greece. Now, this is really funny, right? Because I was only just thinking the modern day version of that would be, they were reminding me yesterday, again, this is anonymous, but I was remembering at some point, I'm just going to say at some point on my journey, I read for somebody that was working in an industry, and I basically read for them, and it confused them and it didn't make any sense, right? Because what I was reading was future energy. Okay, hold on to that, because we all know that's what I do, crystal clear visions. And so, the person kind of, like, took it on board. And then anyway, I'm keeping this quite cryptic. Anyway, long story short, I got back in touch. This girl got back in touch with me about 6 weeks later, and what it was what she was just really honest. When I read for her, she was totally confused because everything was going great in this industry that she was working in, and very, again, I'm being cryptic because it's high profile, like well known people and stuff like that, and in this industry, only if you're kind of interested in this industry. And the long and short of it was, what I'd read was this person was about to be dropped from where she was working. And so that's why when I was reading this energy, and I was like, look, I can't remember what I said now, but it was something along the lines of what I usually pick up on all the time. It was like, look, I'm not being funny, but somebody's like fucking about to stick the knife in head. Do you know what I mean? Like, just, and it was this person's American, so it was like, I'm like, who's this random psychic Scottish girl? But anyway, yeah, the long and short of it was every word of what I said was spot on, and it blew this person's mind. And this person actually happens to have a deep insight into astrology too. So, that led this person to be like, look, can you tell me what, your astrology is? And so when I told this person astrology, she was like, oh my God, that's how you've done that. Like, wow. So anyway, the point is, that bit when it says the wealthiest and most influential people in the world in Greece, that might not be exactly that. I just looked at 144, but just know that that's just one example. I have actually helped people that are a bit higher profile. And I do foresee it being the case as time goes on, because in the new earth, like, fame is not the kind of, drama, celebrity, gossip drama that we've known it to be. It's actually, being a well-known healer, or being a well-known oracle, or being, what I mean? It's things that, like, it's going to be different. And that's why I would say, like, the leaders of the new earth, it's like the true leaders of new earth are the people that are empowering other people. It's why I say at the start of every video, I'm empowering you to empower yourself, empowering your divine femme, divine man to get stronger. And the idea is, I help a lot of other healers and mediums and psychics and blah 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 that go in to help other people, but like you said, I've always been here to help the masses, and I do feel it is because of my past life connected to Apollo and the Oracle of Delphi. You know what I mean? That, like, it's like, it's just there's not enough people realize it, but we'll see. It'll be interesting as the channel grows, like who's drawn to the channel. From inside the temple, a priestess, but even, I'm just sort of sharing that with you cryptically, that even the fact that that's been on my radar, and this was years ago, by the way, that I have been in connection with people that know other high profile people in different industries, where, because that's the point. When you're shit hot at reading energy, you're shit hot at reading energy. Whether somebody's like high profile or not, it doesn't really matter. You just have to be on the radar. So somebody else must need to hear that too. Like, and it was it was very synchronistic. And I just see it as it was God wanted me to be in this person's face at that particular point. And again, actually, to be honest, that person may still tune in, and they'll know that I'm talking about them, but they don't need to worry, because I'm not giving anything away that gives away who it is, apart from the person would know. But yeah, anyway. From inside the temple, a priestess called the Pythia would channel Apollo's sacred messages, and priests wrote them down. The temple still stands on Mount Parnassus. Hilarious. I'm connected to it and I can't even say it. Apollo is a conduit for divine guidance and sacred signs. His symbols include the wolf, the dolphin. Now, this is what's really funny. The wolf is my main power animal, as I've already said in this. The dolphin I had, when I grew up, my room was covered in dolphin stuff. Dolphin lampshades, dolphin. It was too much. Dolphin covers, you name it. There was dolphins everywhere, which is also very New Earth as well. Swans. I do like swans, but you know they're not the. Yeah, I do like swans, but they're swans to me are a sign of true love actually. Laurel crown, I've actually no idea what that is. That might be this thing. Golden lyre and silver bowl. So, but anyway, the fact that wolf and dolphins mentions first, so do you know what I mean? There's. I feel they want me to read this to you because if you, this is more going to speak to you, those of you that know me well, because people that are just new, they're going to be like, who cares? But I suppose what they're getting to point out is there's a connection between the energies that actually I'm strongly connected to. And if you tune into the thing, you're like, oh yeah, Claire does do that. Oh yeah, Claire helped me with that. You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting. So notice that about your own past lives, you know, and this is what I can help you with. Like I love I love all my cards, but particularly that, like, look, I just opened that up at Visionary. Like, so I feel I can feel that's for one of the males again, that you're a visionary. And it might be that, you know, when we're doing a session, that I might pull one of these cards and it'll be the exact person, you know, ancestor or guide that you felt around you. So interesting. Wake up, the divine realms are communicating with you, sweeping in upon his shining chariot. Apollo, look, it would be on page 38, 39. Interesting. Apollo comes to illuminate the stream of heavenly messages that are being sent your way. Blonde curls gleaming in the sun. Apollo sits down next to you and starts to play rapturous music on his lyre. Oh, that's what that is. A wondrous intuitive language is being spoken through the signs and synchronicity. And again, if you followed me from the days of Facebook, that is the one thing I've said all the time, is if you weren't already somebody that's seen signs and synchronicity everywhere you went, get ready for that to be heightened if you already did, or come on full blast after connecting with me, because that is what happens to me 24/7, and again, connected to this energy. And particularly through the numbers, because like I said, although it's fashionable to talk about all that now, people weren't talking about that as much back in the day when I was activating people with that stuff. So a wondrous intuitive language is being spoken through the signs and synchronicities, because again, it's like a lot of people have started circling back now because they're waking up. Like I've noticed to people that were kind of, it was like they weren't as awake and now they're sort of circling back, and it's interesting to see that with people that I'd connected with in the past. Spiritual guides commonly send symbols like feathers and rainbows to remind you of their presence. Pay attention to words, phrases overheard, conversations, song lyrics, music, colours, again, everything I teach. Images, symbols, and number patterns that you experience repetitively. You may have a sense of heightened awareness or sudden stillness as the sign is delivered. Divine messages will always be kind, loving, encouraging, and positive. They don't tell you to do anything, rather than they nudge you in the right direction of your highest good, reinforcing your inner knowing. And again, I feel that's why they got me to stress that before reading this card, is that's why I'm saying, you know, if you're watching something and it starts pulling you into like feeling like fear and doubt and worry and stress, it's probably a dark portal. So just click it off. But again, it could be the case as well that when I'm reading some of these ones, it's like the more like brutally honest, truthful ones, you might be in a sensitive place. And again, you've got to take personal responsibility that if something's triggering you, click it off, whether it be me or somebody else. You know, that's the stronger that you get, the more discerning. You've got to protect your own energy. Do you know what I mean? If you don't understand the divine message, ask yourself, if I really knew, what would this sign mean? Interpret it kindly and trust yourself. So, make a sign journal, record your divine messages and notice recurring themes. You may have had significant past life experiences at the Delphic Oracle. So remember, this is hilarious that I said, what do I need to know about helping that person in an emergency? And then you may have had a past life experiences. Yes, absolutely. You'll soon receive a valuable oracle card reading or intuitive session. That could actually be tonight, because I better move my ass actually. I'm going to be sitting channeling all the signs. Follow a path, a career path in music. Apollo, help me interpret the language of spirit. I've just realised something as well. You see, that could actually, I've just realised what that means. That's because I sing all the time when I'm channeling. So do you know what I mean? Isn't it funny that it's not that I'm a singer, but I do actually sing. I channel my messages. So it's just, yeah, I just thought I'd share that because those cards are beautiful. So what else do we need to... Oh, I think that's what I was going to do. So yeah, I was just going to shuffle the Isis cards and see what came out. I usually actually keep these for the paid group Zoom events. And speaking of that, I'll talk about it when we're closer at the time. But I will be doing a group Zoom on the highest level of the membership, but I might assess that near the time. If there's not enough people on that level, I might just do something instead for whoever is on the level. But yeah, if we get just a few more people, I'll be able to do that. But you never know, I might actually be guided to just do that with with whoever is there. So, but it's just I'll just see what they guide me to do. Right. That might be a nice perk, actually. I will discuss that with whoever's on it. I'm just keeping people's anonymity just now. So, but yeah, let's see. What ISIS card have we got? So ISIS energy is obviously very, very strong in the collective. Oh, wow. How powerful it's here. Like, I'm being so cringe. But yeah, divine sisterhood. It is. It's very... And then Jesus fell in the game. Unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of God. Mark 4:11. Oh my God, 4th of November, that's my dad's birthday, that's Monday. So there you go, 4th of November could be a significant. Fell in the shot. Community of the spiritual sisters and brothers of light. So let's just see what this means. Divine sisterhood. My nose is so itchy, but that's when the loved ones in spirit and the ancestors are coming around me. Because do you know what I find funny, right? This is what's different about me too, is I don't separate what I do. Like I don't. It depends. What I mean is like I just every time I do a video, like I call on the guides, angels, ancestors, loved ones, and spirit. So I just and the light beings know I don't need to add them in, but the Palladians, the Arcturians, whoever wants to join in, just know that. And so like I'm just sort of stressing that when you watch my videos, that it's like it really could be a multitude of any and all of these beings that are coming in. Like I don't specify. Do you know what I mean? I'm just sort of sharing that for some reason. So community of spiritual sisters and brothers of light. In the community that is based on equality, respect, healthy boundaries. See, all this stuff about boundaries is coming through very strong because this new moon is conjunct my Saturn. And can I just say, I have to just stress this new moon is really interesting because this new moon hits the most intense conjunction for my twin flame connection. So like I said, I know what that is at my end, and will I actually know what that is at his end. But I'm just sort of saying that it's like that's a lot of the reason. I've said before that's a lot of the reason why with some twin flames, and it's definitely true for the connection I'm in too, that I'm definitely, whether he likes it or not, I'm definitely in his life to help teach him about boundaries, which can fucking seem a little bit boring in a way, and that's probably why he's ran like fuck. But it's I'm making a bit of humour about it just to lighten the mood here. But he's definitely in my life to bring more fun and playful energy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can see where the balance needs to make. You know what I mean? It's like you can still have fun, but like with boundaries around that does sound anyway. But it's just quite funny. I'm just laughing. I don't know why they want me to share it, but I'm sharing it. So personal freedom with mutual desire for spiritual growth and honor and innate wisdom, great miracles occur. You're a part of, look at this is gonna make me cry or something. You're a part of this community of light. So yeah, if you're watching this right now, you want to be. You're a part of this community. 1, 2, 3. And the thing is, I'm aware that karmic people lurk here as well. And the thing is, I really do feel, and that means it's true, that's God coming in a stronger way. There will be a lot of karmic energies that watch, like either karmic energies to do with myself or karmic energies to do with some of you that tune in for your twin flame journey. And they might have actually sort of cleared a lot of the heavier, darker energy and integrate more their shadow and, come full circle and maybe even be feeling a bit of remorse about how they've behaved. You never know. There'll be some people still like hating on me and hating on whatever we're doing here. But I do hold space for miracles in that way. At one time, it existed only in the spiritual world, yet now it is being born on earth. It is part of your destiny to help create and nurture a conscious community that empowers all of its members, and it is based in truth. Right? Again, I can't, guys. That's why they got me stress that. And again, if you're new, and you know, I say all the time, it's God speaking through me. That's what, or whatever, because I've just read that Apollo card, you can see it as that because I'm connected to that energy. Um, I don't usually use these cards because they're just so long, you know, but they're really powerful. But they're so special. I've just always tended to keep them for the paid events, but they really wanted me to share that with it so that everyone had access to this. That this is what this channel is about. This is a conscious community that empowers all of its members, and it's based in truth. I couldn't say that any more perfect. Um, Letting the divine feminine nourish you now into new relationships, collaborations, community, and friendships is very wise. So, again, I feel that's a very strong invitation to come and join the membership at any level you're guided to, or stay just a part of the channel. You're welcome in whatever way you're guided to. But again, I can't promise that I'm going to keep that up forever. I do feel at some point I will pull the plug on it because I usually do with memberships, but you know, I'll keep it going for another 6 months, you know, and then I might have it for years. You just never know. Because remember, this isn't my first paper round. I've had memberships for years. I just took about a couple of years break there to be prepared to do it again because it's difficult. You know, it is difficult to run a community, a free community, but it's also difficult to run a paid one too because you feel I don't know, it just is a different type of feeling and it can sometimes sort of tie down my free spirit. So the only way I can describe it is when I start to feel like it's restricting my joy in any way or too much pressure or people are kind of making too many demands, which by the way, it hasn't been happening because there's only a tiny amount of people and it's my people that are drawn to me. But it has happened in the past where I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm not here to be bossed about or, in more extreme cases, bullied. Yes, you heard right. That's happened before. So, you know what I mean? So, as long as people respect me and respect my boundaries, I hold that sacred space for everyone, whether it be the channel here for free or the paid content. So, and again, it's Saturn speaking really strongly because this new moon's conjunct my Saturn. So, that's why it's coming through so strongly. There are many souls with whom you have spiritual contracts decided upon before you were born who wish to help you and whom you can help to as you grow together in peace, light, and wisdom. That's what we're doing here. Your light has value on its own, of course, but is also of deep service when it is visible to others, lighting the way. And again, like I've said before, you know, I'm here to gather light warriors and light workers, but I prefer the word light warrior, so you can choose what you prefer. And I've been teaching people to basically shine their light and you know be visible for years now. As I was teaching myself to be comfortable with that too. You're guided to allow the beloved Isis to help you now through community. There could it always just blows my mind how it's the exact perfect. This is exactly what my client yesterday emailed me saying it blows my mind how the card always backs up what you just said, and this is what's just happened here. There can be strength in numbers. Community can help you gain the added power of group effort to rise above the old patterns and lift each other into new patterns that are so much more real and beautiful. In unity, the divine in each other, we grow and we become capable of such wonders. Mother Isis says there's so much light awakening within our planet and so much spiritual light gifted to Earth from celestial beings at this time. And again, how beautiful is that? This is All Saints' Day. That it makes sense to build a large enough container to receive it. Groups that are willing to learn to connect at a heart level, honouring each other's divine beings, can become capable of calling in and receiving tremendous forces of light in service to humanity and Earth. If you had enough electricity to power a city, you wouldn't try to fit it in one house. Likewise, with all this spiritual electricity becoming available on the Earth, groups are needed to help it to circulate and flow. You're wise and grounded enough within yourself not to lose yourself in a group. Oh, look at what I just said, you see. And instead to help a group because a community, to help a group become a community of honouring individuals. Yeah, and that's what I've said. Like I'm strong enough to hold a group membership in a group because I've done it before and I've went through all the trials and tribulations. And believe me, I know that it will happen again. I don't like to call it in, but it will. The more there's more people, the more issues arise. But I can handle it. But it's not easy. So I don't know who needs to hear that. It might be people that are thinking about running their own things. It's wise that you're prepared for that because it's doable and it's enjoyable if you're meant to do it. But not everyone's meant to do it. So I don't know who you've just got to know if that speaks to you or not. Your leadership by example is important as groups can sometimes descend. Yeah, there we go. Look, I don't even remember reading this before, but I will have read it at some point, but it's saying exactly what I've just said. Your leadership by example is important as groups can sometimes descend to the lowest energetic vibration if the members fall into their egos rather than staying in their hearts. What do I talk about all the time? I talk about this all the time. The one thing that gets nibbed right in the bud, especially on the group Zooms, is if I hold a paid group Zoom and, so whether it's, when I say paid group Zoom, it's because I'm still more than likely, when I hold that group Zoom as part of the membership, oh, that's what they're saying to me. Yeah, so I will be running it because I'll basically put it out to all of you, so that if you don't want to pay an ongoing monthly fee, you can just come and join that one off. But again, it works out way better financially to just join the membership because you're actually paying less and you're getting so much more. And that's why, like, look, it was actually really, really generous what I'm given for the highest level there. But I was aware of what I set it at when I set it, and I'm happy with it. I'm happy to do that. And I think it will really help a lot of people. And the more people that join, obviously, it'll help me financially as well. But yeah. So, what have we got here? The Oracle of the Divine Sisterhood is based on the love. Yeah, but basically, what I was saying there is, yeah, if the minute I feel like people kind of being a bit too in their ego or trying to show off, I'm very gentle about it. I wouldn't embarrass anyone, but I'd probably, if there was space to have a quiet word with you on a private, I wouldn't be like, I don't know. It would be like maybe when I speak to you one to one, I would have a chat with it, yeah, about it, because it's better to nip that in the bud when it's seen, because everybody does it in some sort of way, but it's not needed when you realise that actually the people that I attract on the group Zooms, we're all for a very similar vibration. We're all usually quite old souls, regardless of age. And yeah, so anyway, whatever that's all about. So the Oracle of the Divine, but you'll see it in other groups. I think basically it'll be coming to mind with you of some group that you've been in before. There's always a bit of a cock off, even if it's women, just change it to whatever you would call that. And it's just like a bit of an eye roll moment, do you know what I mean? It's like how whenever I've been at any other groups like that, right, and somebody's like reeling off their credentials, I'm sitting there thinking, I do like 10 times more things than this person, but I'm not about to actually start having a cock off to tell them. I'll just smile and nod. And, if it comes up in conversation, one of the things I do, I might say it. And sometimes I don't, because again, I'm not interested. That it's very off-putting. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I think I was meaning there when they're getting me to say that really sort of look at that yourself, like you can tell when somebody's not as confident in their, in what they're doing, their experience, if they're talking too much about being qualified in something, because it really is neither here nor there. Somebody can be qualified in something, but if you've not got the experience and the to back it up, it doesn't hold as much weight. It's like I said, for me personally, it's I suppose it really depends on what we're talking about here, but that's what's coming through. The Oracle of the Divine Sisterhood is based on love between the goddesses of ancient Egypt, Hathor, Isis. Oh, look, so that's why Hathor was coming in there too. Hathor, Isis, Bastet, and Sekhmet, and more. They're often pictured with similar symbols and headdresses and share some iconography that helps us realise, although they are divine individual beings, they're connected as unique expressions of something greater. Yeah, the Divine Sisterhood. Or like the Sisterhood of the Rose, the Mary Magdalene, which I've been talking about a lot here as well. If you accept all of this but still cannot find your spiritual home here and have been wondering where your community is, you're not alone. They are looking for you too. Again, I did shuffle, guys. Say yes to the opportunities to meet like-minded people and let Isis guide you through circumstances, opportunities, and spontaneous moments as you and your beloved sisters and brothers find each other together for group benefit. And the one thing I really do love about this, as I've said, I'm going to be so excited when it starts to get to the point where we've got some divine feminines and divine masculines that are each other's divine feminines, divine masculines watching the channel. I mean, it could even be the case now. Like some people over the years have actually felt that is the case, but I mean, I'm not. I suppose basically what I'm going to say is I'm not aware of it through sessions just now, but actually, there are a few people that I can actually link that actually that it is potentially, yeah, there is actually, but I suppose even if I was, I wouldn't. Well, yeah, no. When I get more consciously aware of that I do actually know that too. I don't know whether I would say. I don't know. It's anonymous, so I suppose I could. I'll have to assess that. But I think it's going to get to a point where it's going to be like really, it's going to be really exciting for me because like I'm going to know, but like you might not anyway. So, um, but I suppose why I wouldn't say is no, I wouldn't. You see, because I'm very strict about confidentiality. Because let's give an example here. If you're the divine feminine, regardless of gender, and your divine masculine is also coming to me for support, but they're not ready to be in contact with you yet, yeah, I wouldn't tell either. I wouldn't tell the other person, but I would know. You know what they're talking to me about? It reminds me of I was in a predicament like that once. Um, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Actually, I was in a predicament with that once where it was like I was very connected to somebody. This is just a friend, um, and the person that I happened to be getting help with was actually helping them too. So it was like, but it was interesting. So it was like, and I could see how the person was gently helping me and would have been helping the other person to help us with what we both needed help with. But it was interesting anyway. Whatever. But it's a good example. This is also guidance that you're moving into empowerment of your own divine feminine and are capable of helping others enter into theirs. Again, boom, drop the mic. That's what I do all the time. Again, I help you balance your masculine and your feminine, but the thing that I notice with most men and women is you're not paying enough attention to your feelings and you're rushing around. I was even giving my mum a lecture about that the other day. I was like, just sit down and have a cup of tea. And she did. The role of the divine sisterhood is about empowering all and not one above the other and growing in wisdom through listening and sharing, which basically the group Zoom each month, it'll really be about that. You see, sometimes I might have a theme of it, but I think I'm just going to sort of leave it open for, I'm not going to have those Zooms be any more than an hour, to be honest. I think I might even keep them about 45 minutes because it can just get a bit much and, it's really going to depend on how many people are in it. Obviously, the more people there are, the longer it'll take, and I don't mind that. But I think to sort of keep it in a bit of a container there. So because the difference when it's a group Zoom is that it's not it's we've got to navigate giving people a balanced amount of time. But naturally, what I've noticed with in the past is there are some weeks or some months, because it's only going to be once a month, where some people might need to talk more than another. So, but that's what that would be my job, to check at the start and facilitate and stuff. So, anyway, we'll all work out through allowing the uniqueness of beings and encouraging all to grow from a win-win perspective. If you're in a community but are finding that the group ego is becoming more powerful than the group soul, and the energy of the community is pulling you down rather than lifting you up, then this oracle says to trust in divine feminine to lead you onwards. Yeah, again, and that's what I'm saying. You'll all have had experiences like that. I know I certainly have. And all I'm saying is you don't need to worry about that. If I notice somebody's ego getting too big, I will deal with it accordingly. Again, usually very discreetly and privately, because it's not about embarrassing people, but it's yeah, they always get me to do it in the right way. So give your best and most truthful expression and effort, but if this community is not a vibration that can work for you, then move on without judgment or fear. Just move on and trust that the law of magnetism, you will attract yourself into a community that is the best vibration for you. But I think this is also talking about those of you that are in like toxic communities, like maybe friendships that suited you when you were in a lower vibration, but now you've raised, I don't like talking like that, but now you've raised your vibration. You're like, I don't gel with these people anymore. Like, I don't know how I even did in the first place. And it's about moving on, finding soul fam is what I would say. And welcome, you found us. Or maybe you've been here the whole time, but you know what I mean? I just feel this is really strongly happening, people. If you found that you have guidance to build community yourself and you're feeling a little overwhelmed at the thought, stay calm and stay in your heart. Allow yourself to collaborate with others and work in smaller groups and connection with each other as a way to build community together. It will happen naturally. The Divine Sisterhood will guide you as if you ask for the assistance with unconditional love. Because yeah, like I said, those of you that are, that those of you that do have like in-person communities of your own that you run or online ones, again, I have assisted and supported and cheered people on with having their own memberships and free groups and paid stuff and that for years now, from the same amount of time that I've been doing it, which I'm just trying to think. I think I started my first membership probably about 8 or 9 years ago. So I have got a lot of experience in that area. But like I said, it really just depends. It's unique to each person. But it's all I know is you can only really go into that work when you've truly balanced your own ego and shadow, and you can handle the fact that lots of other people haven't, and it can get very prickly, and you have to constantly be on top of what's okay for you as well and what's not. Like, there's a reason why, like, I've got that filter on the comments on this channel. Like, I closely monitor what gets said there. Like, I closely monitor because for lots of reasons. But one of the main things is that there's so many people on the twin flame journey that when they're in the pain of it, and they're in, like, they're in the pain of, like, their own deeper inner childhoods, or really doing some deep shadow work, might kind of, like, have a moment and kind of just really lash out, and in the written form. And it's just, I have to check in with my guides whether that is going to be helpful. I suppose it comes down to that, like, before you comment, like, it's kind of wise to think, like, is this helpful or kind? And if it's not helpful or kind, it's probably not going to be wise to put it. Do you know what I mean? And but it's I'm there might be other circumstances where that isn't. But also, I think I'd add in another one, safe. Like, it kind of reminds me of when I'm doing live streams. Occasionally, like, people might share stuff that's, like, really, really private, and although it's basically, it is personal responsibility what you share. It always has to be on you what you share. I'm just aware of, until people have got stronger boundaries, sometimes you think you're okay with sharing something, and then after you've put something out there in public, you might be like, oh my god, like, that was too much, I shouldn't have shared that. So I can, again, that's my unique skill, is to be able to have a bit of a understanding of that. But sometimes it's to do with my boundaries too. It's like, you might be okay with putting that about that really heavy topic, but actually there's other people watching that could be really, like, too triggering, or, but it's very hard to explain what I mean. But actually as well, specifically when some people put certain words, I have to, I'll either delete it, or, again, if it's live, I might be like, suggest, like, oh, you might want to take that down. You'll have seen me doing that before. It does happen every now and again, quite often, because yeah, that, here don't like that. But so you can, they're just like, I'm giving you the honest reality of it, that it is fun holding space for a community. But you've got to be prepared for the fact that it's people's egos always get in the way, because there's always people that have done more work in that area, and other people that think they have but they haven't, and then it'll get highlighted, and it's look what they're pulling to me as I'm saying this. Wise leader, you're a beacon for others. But just because it's hard, it doesn't mean that you back down from it. You know what I mean? Because basically, like, I'm doing it. So if I can do it, you can do it too. But I'm giving myself credit there that, like, I have put in, like I said, I've put in the hard graft. Again, I have got Saturn in Scorpio. And remember, this new moon is conjunct in it. Saturn in Scorpio is about putting in the brutal blood, sweat, and tears years. Like, Saturn is not about a couple of years here and there. Saturn is about decades. So it's no coincidence that I'm one of the twin flame healers out here that is teaching people from a perspective of meeting my twin flame 21 years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and consciously being aware of him being my twin flame 15 years next year. In a couple of months, I'll be able to say 15 years. And actually, that's only me being so exact about it. I was thinking about this the other day, and so strict. Like, I did know who he was to me, like, long before 14 and 15 years ago. Like, I knew, but I just kept, my ego kept talking me out of it, or other people's stuff was getting in my head. And I can tell, it's so funny that the battery's going low, so I can't really see the picture. But yeah, I'm not going to do, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to read the ritual for this on the membership. So if you want this, you can, join us on the first level, because the first level is actually about giving gratitude and thanks back to me for all the free stuff. But I will read this before I go. Beloved Isis, please help me find my beloved brothers and sisters of unconditional love on the inner planes in this world and forms. Guide me to healthy community that helps me grow with unconditional love, where I can find my rightful place and be true to my inner self. And I said inner self at 144, magical. Thank you. May I have the courage, wisdom, and openness of heart to trust your guidance and act on it of my own free will. So be it. Beautiful. I'm sending you loving, healing energy. I'm spraying a bit of Florida water at us because I already sprayed the sage. I think it was before I came on here. I don't know if I sprayed that in the candle, I don't know if it'd go crazy, but that would be like the twin flame love. But anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you, but you'll see me. Oh, actually, you'll probably watch this after because this will take ages to upload. But yes, see you on the lives because I'll be doing them throughout the night. And yeah, thank you, and I hope you got something from this. And please join the membership if you're guided, but there'll be no coercing or encourage. I'm just encouraging you if you want to. It's there. And anyway, see you later.